Park Geun-hye impeached. Peerless religious enactment draws flack. I'm Daniel Bakri, and you're watching Cuppa News. We start with South Korean politics today. The country's parliament passed an impeachment bill that will see President Park Geun-hye removed for the time being, which makes her the country's first elected leader to be kicked out of office. The lawmakers voted by secret ballot with 234 in favor and 56 opposed.
대통령 박근혜 탄핵 소추안은 가결되었음을 선포합니다.
The ballot transfers Park's authority to Prime Minister Han Kyo-an, pending a decision by the Constitutional Court on whether to ratify the decision and permanently remove the president from office. A ruling may take up to 6 months. The 64-year-old president is accused of colluding with a friend and a former aide, both of whom have been indicted by prosecutors, to pressure business corporations to donate to 2 foundations set up to back the president's policy initiatives. Park, who is on a 5-year term that will end in February 2018, has denied wrongdoing but apologized for carelessness in her ties with friend Choi Soon-sil. She said at her regular cabinet meeting after the ballot,
저는 국회와 국민의 목소리를 엄중하게 받아들이고 있으며 지금의 혼란이 잘 마무리되기를 진심으로 바라고 있습니다.
Meanwhile, protesters earlier gathered outside the parliament to urge lawmakers to vote in favor of impeaching the president, and their wish was granted. Mass rallies have been held in Seoul over the past 6 weeks to get Park to quit. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak said that Malaysia is on track to becoming a developed nation by 2020. In a recorded message on his website, Najib said many programs such as the 11th Malaysia Plan and the National Transformation Policy were being implemented to achieve the Vision 2020 goal, but the country needs to move forward. He said the National Transformation 2050 or TN50 was introduced by him to chart the direction beyond 2020.
Oleh kerana kita semakin menghampiri tahun 2020, Malaysia memerlukan wadah baru bagi meneruskan perjuangan membangunkan negara ini. Sudah tiba masanya kita melakar hala 7 negara selepas tahun 2020. Takkanlah pada tahun 2020 nanti baru nak mula merancang. Kita perlu mulakan sekarang.
The Prime Minister announced TN50 when tabling Budget 2017 in Parliament in October. Political parties expressed their opposition against an enactment passed by Peerless lawmakers on Thursday. The enactment allows for newly converted Muslim parent to convert their children without the consent of the non-Muslim parent. MIC and MCA condemned the passing of amendments to the Administration of the Religion of Islam Enactment 2006 in the Peerless Legislative Assembly yesterday. Prior to the amendments, the consent of both the father and the mother was required for the conversion of a child aged below 18 years. MIC President Datuk Sri Dr. S. Subramaniam said that the amendments would now open the door for infants to be snatched from their mothers and rushed to the religious department for conversion. MCA Deputy President Datuk Sri Dr. Wee Ka Seong said that the party would never compromise on its stand that the religion of a minor is to be determined by the consent of both parents as enshrined in the Federal Constitution as of 1970. He said that the state legislation should be consistent with federal bills and that the amendments contravene the spirit of the Law Reform Marriage and Divorce Bill, which is to secure the constitutional rights of non-Muslims. Peerless Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Azlan Man, who tabled the amendments, however, said that the amendments were consistent with the federal constitution. After attending a seminar in Kota Tinggi, Johor today, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department Dr. Sri Azalina Othman Syed said that the Cabinet had agreed to amend Article 12, Section 4 of the Federal Constitution to enable it to have a clearer meaning. She said upon the Attorney General Chamber's recommendation, the word parent can be read as mother or father, but there were also lawyers who said that the word can mean to include both. In the latest development of last week's assault incident in Penang, police arrested 2 more people on Wednesday to assist the investigation into the incident. Penang Police Chief Datuk Abdul Ghaffar Rajab said that the remand for the duo, aged 31 and 35, ended today, but the police would seek to extend the remand tomorrow. During the incident, a 47-year-old man was assaulted at the Khu Kong Si Cemetery in Ayahitam for having allegedly insulted Penang businessman Dato Ong Tek Kwang, who was shot dead on the Tun Dr. Lim Chong Yu Expressway on December 1st. The police had first arrested a man, but he was released on bail on Wednesday. Malaysia has pledged to make its ports more environmentally friendly and commercially viable. After attending the third session of the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific Ministerial Conference on Transport in Moscow, Transport Minister Datuk Sri Liao Tiong Lai said yesterday that Malaysia would take steps towards the development of a green port policy. He said the green port policy includes initiatives such as ballast water management, the study of fuel quality of ships, as well as electricity and fuel-saving initiatives. For Malaysia, besides enhancing safety, security, and connectivity, the policy will guide the country to become a competitive transportation hub in the region. Residents of 4 villages in Kampung Java, Klang are not happy with the confusion concerning their compensation from the Selangor government for a highway project in the area. The residents, who may see their land taken over to build the Banting Taiping Highway, said they did not get any compensation yet, despite claims that they did. The village's representatives held a press conference today to clarify that negotiations are still ongoing, as opposed to a claim by Kota Raja MP Dr. Siti Mariah Mahmud that they were already compensated.
Dalam perangan pertama, beliau memberitahu penduduk puas hati jumlah pampasan. Kita tidak menerima sebarang pampasan daripada kerajaan negeri maupun kerajaan persekutuan.
The residents want both replacement land and monetary compensation. In other news, 3 suspected Filipino kidnappers were shot dead and 3 others captured in a 20-minute gunfight between Malaysian police and 8 gunmen in Darvel Bay off Pulau Bodgaya in Sempurna, Sabah at 9:40 p.m. on Thursday. A policeman was shot in the foot and was airlifted to Sempurna Hospital for treatment at around 2 o'clock this morning. Security forces continue to comb the area to look for 2 other suspects who are part of the group involved in cross-border kidnappings. In Singapore, police are investigating an incident where a woman had a fight with a man, presumably a taxi driver, and a female security guard at Enggor Street around 11 p.m. on Wednesday. Videos of her tussling with them went viral yesterday and prompted the Singaporean Union of Security Employees to respond on Twitter. The union said the security officer works for one of the agencies under the union. It also said it had ascertained that the agency would cover the medical costs incurred due to the incident. South Korean heartthrob Park Bo-gum is here for the first time to promote his recent drama series titled Love in the Moonlight.
네, 팬분들이 많이 오셔가지고 놀래기도 했는데 늦은 시간에 와주셔서 진심으로 감사드린다는 말씀 전해드리고 싶고요.
Park met the press in Kuala Lumpur today after his arrival last night. Fans can catch the Hallyu star at his special appearance at KLCC Plenary Hall tomorrow. Day 3 of the devastating earthquake in Aceh Province, Indonesia. Search operations resumed after the 6.5 magnitude earthquake on December 7th toppled hundreds of buildings, killing more than 100 people and leaving thousands homeless. A 2-week state of emergency has been declared for the province as rescuers focused their search on the Meriadu Market Complex in the PD Jaya district. Temporary shelters were set up for residents who had evacuated from their crumbled homes. Indonesian President Joko Widodo visited the victims at the Tengku Cik Ditiro Hospital. The quake was the biggest disaster to hit the province since an earthquake and tsunami wiped out Banda Aceh, killing 120,000 people on December 26th in 2004. Elsewhere in the world, police in Cameroon shot dead 4 anti-government demonstrators and several others were wounded after the demonstrators threw stones at the police. The protesters marched on a meeting of the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement in Bamenda when they were confronted by police. A series of protests have marred the city, which is in one of the minority Anglophone regions, over the past month. Protests first broke out when lawyers and teachers demanded better working conditions. A month after her defeat in the White House race, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton attended a tribute to retiring Senate Democratic leader Harry Reid. She called fake news a danger that must be addressed quickly, as she has been the target of fake news herself, with internet postings claiming that a Washington, D.C. pizza restaurant was fronting a child sex ring run by her. A man fired a gunshot inside the restaurant last Sunday as a result of the report.
This is not exactly the speech at the Capitol I hoped to be giving after the election. The epidemic of malicious fake news and false propaganda that flooded social media over the past year, it's now clear that so-called fake news can have real-world consequences. This isn't about politics or partisanship. Lives are at risk. Lives of ordinary people just trying to go about their days, to do their jobs, contribute to their communities.
Conjoined 2-year-old twins Erica and Eva Sandoval have undergone 17 hours of surgery at the Lucille Packard Children's Hospital in California to separate them. Professor Gary Hartman from the hospital, who led the surgery team, said at a press conference that they were very happy with the results of the surgery. The girls are in a stable condition in the ICU, where they will remain for about 2 weeks. They shared much of their lower body, with one liver and one bladder between them, before the operation that divided the organs to give them one each. A third leg they also shared is being used to help with the reconstruction. Now the girls can pursue their own separate paths. That's all from our team. Have a great weekend.